What's up, everybody? Super stoked about today because we're going to be covering the foundation of any nutritional programming that you choose. I'm going to teach you how to calculate your own individualized nutrition based on whatever your goals are. So if you're trying to lose weight, shred body fat, we're going to go over exactly how to calculate your exact calories to do that. If your goal is just to maintain your current body weight but increase your athletic performance, we're going to go through the calculations needed to figure out exactly the nutrition that you need to be putting into your body. And if your goal is, you're looking to build some lean muscle on your body, bulk up a little bit, we're going to go into the exact calorie needs and the exact way to calculate your individualized nutrition for your goals. All right, so if you're like me and most of the world and most of the people out there, you've probably realized by now that most diets suck and they don't work for the long term. So if we take a look at any of the big, super popular diets, I'm talking keto, I'm talking intermittent fasting, I'm talking paleo, I'm talking Atkins diet, basically any of the very popular diets, they all revolve around one simple principle, which is cutting out a food group or multiple food groups in order to lower your overall calories that you're intaking throughout the day, which is putting you at a caloric deficit so that you're going to be losing weight. So keto, you're basically cutting out all of your carbohydrates. Now there's only carbs, fats, and proteins. Those are our three macronutrients that make up all food groups. So if you're cutting out carbohydrates, that is only leaving you with two food groups to choose from. So we're cutting out 1/3 of all your options right there. If we're looking at intermittent fasting, where we're doing the typical 16-hour fast, 8-hour eating window, we're basically cutting out an entire meal out of your diet, which is basically trying to put you at a calorie deficit by cutting out 1/3 of your entire food intake for the day. If you look at, the paleo diet, you look at the Atkins diet, same type of thing. They're limiting the foods that you can eat, the choices you can make, therefore trying to put you at a calorie deficit because you're not eating the amount of food that you would normally be eating. So I want to show you, and I want to talk about a more flexible way of doing nutrition that's going to allow you to eat the foods you want, give you more energy, give you more options, allow you to go out and have dinner with friends out at a restaurant. It's going to be way more enjoyable. It's how I do my nutrition for all my clients. So let's get into it. So all of those so-called diets, nutrition programs that we just talked about, I'm not saying they don't work. They totally work if you follow it to a T, but do they work for the long term? Are you not going to eat carbs for the rest of your life? Probably not. So let's talk about a nutrition strategy that you can follow for the rest of your life and is going to give you more flexibility than any nutrition program you've ever followed before. So the very basic, this is the foundation to any nutrition program that you want to follow in order to change your body's composition. The first step is figuring out how many calories your body burns in an average day. So I burn a certain amount of calories per day, you burn a certain amount of calories per day. It's going to be different for each person, but I'm going to show you right now how to find what is called your TDEE, which stands for your total daily energy expenditure. All right, so the first step to figure out what your maintenance calories are, how many calories your body is burning on average per day, is to go to a website called tdecalculator.net. So we're on this website and we're gonna throw in what our stats are. So I'm gonna just use my stats as an example here. So I'm 32 years old, I weigh 195 pounds, I'm 5'9", and I'm working out 6 to 7 days a week, and my body fat is about 10%. So off these numbers here, I'm gonna calculate what my daily maintenance calories are. So what maintenance calories mean is, it means that if you intake this amount of calories per day, your weight is gonna stay exactly where it's at, and we're gonna basically maintain your body's current state. So for me, if I intake 3,604 calories per day, I'm gonna be maintaining my 195 pounds and my body's current lean muscle mass. So now we need to go through and talk about how do we change this number and manipulate this number to achieve the exact goals that we want. So we're gonna start with weight loss, okay? We're gonna start with losing body fat. So for every 500 calories I subtract from my TDEE or my maintenance calories right here, that should be a reduction of 1 pound of body fat per week. The math behind that is 500 calorie deficit multiplied by 7 days in a week equals 3,500 calories. And 3,500 calories are how many calories are in 1 pound of fat right here. So if we're subtracting 3,500 calories a week, you're gonna be burning 1 pound of fat per week. So that means if I reduce my calories from 3,600 down to 3,100, I'm gonna be burning 1 pound of fat per week. If I put myself at 1,000 calorie deficit, so instead of subtracting 500 calories, I'm subtracting 1,000 calories. So now I'm eating 2,600 calories per day. That's gonna help me lose 2 pounds of body fat per week. So you can go in increments of 500, 250 and figure out exactly how fast or how slow you wanna lose body fat. Okay, so let's talk about maintaining and let's talk about bulking up a little bit and gaining lean muscle mass. So if I wanna maintain my current physique, but I wanna have a little bit of change in body composition, so I wanna see my lean muscle mass go up, and I wanna see my body fat go down, we're just gonna be maintaining calories, maybe at a slight deficit here, but it's really gonna come down to the macronutrient breakdown, so how many carbs, how much fat, and how much protein you're consuming per day, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So when it comes to gaining strength, gaining lean muscle, and putting on a little bit of extra mass, we have to be at a calorie surplus, which means we have to be intaking more calories than we're burning on a given day. So if my maintenance calories are at 3,600, I need to be intaking more than that to gain muscle at the fastest rate. Same rules apply if I add 500 calories to my 3,600 calories, so now I'm at 4,100 per day, I'm gonna be gaining 1 pound of mass per week. Not necessarily all muscle, but mass per week, okay? If I add 1,000 calories to my 3,600, so now I'm at 4,600 calories, I'm gonna be gaining 2 pounds of mass per week. So that's how bulking up works. That's how cutting down and losing body fat works. We're either adding calories or we're subtracting calories from our maintenance here. All right, so if you want a little cheat sheet, all you have to do is scroll down from where you calculated your maintenance calories at on the TDE calculator, and you're gonna see at the bottom here, it says maintenance, cutting, or bulking. So if you hit the cutting tab, this is gonna put you at a 500 deficit automatically, and it's gonna go through 3 options that you can use: a moderate carb, a low carb option, or a high carb option. High carb is gonna be best for somebody who's working out quite a bit during the week, like 5 to 6 days. Low carb option is gonna be the best option for somebody who is living a more sedentary lifestyle. And moderate carb option is gonna be a great fit for somebody who's looking to lose body fat, but is only working out maybe 2 to 3 times a week. That's the cutting option. If you hit the bulking tab, this is gonna add 500 calories to whatever your maintenance is, and it's gonna give you 3 bulking options. Same thing, a moderate carb option, a lower carb option, and a higher carb option. So the same rules apply here when it comes to bulking. Higher carb is best for somebody who's working out a ton. Lower carb option is great for somebody who's living a sedentary lifestyle, but if you're doing that, I don't know why you're bulking. And a moderate carb option is great for somebody who's only working out 2 to 3 times a week. But if you're sedentary, you probably don't need to bulk. So choose the cutting option. So now here comes the fun part. I'm gonna show you how to track all your foods and basically figure out your own nutrition plan to hit the amount of calories you wanna hit for your exact goals. So first step, we're gonna open up the App Store. We're gonna go to search and we're gonna type in MyFitnessPal. So MyFitnessPal is my favorite app to use when it comes to tracking nutrition. There's a bunch of them out there, but I believe MyFitnessPal is the easiest to use and it gives us the best data and it's free. Once you have that, you're gonna open and download the app there. And then you're gonna go through all the little questions it has. It's gonna ask you a ton of stuff, but it doesn't really matter because you're gonna be inputting your own custom nutrition in here. So feel free to answer those however you want to. But at the end of the day, we're gonna be going off what we just calculated, and we're gonna put that into MyFitnessPal. So once we're in here, we're gonna hit the more or the me button at the bottom if you have the Android. We're gonna scroll down and we're gonna go to goals. We are then gonna go to calorie, carb, protein, and fat goals. And this is where we're changing all of your nutritional info to the info that we just calculated on the TDE calculator. So for me, let's say my maintenance calories were 3,600 and I want to lose 1 pound of fat per week. I'm going to drop these guys down to 3,100. I'm going to hit the little check mark, save it. Then we're getting into ratios of protein, carbs, and fat. So the big one I want to cover today is going to be protein. Okay, we want to set our protein at 1 gram per ideal poundage of body weight. So if I want to weigh 190 to 200 pounds, I want to be intaking 190 to 200 grams of protein per day. So we're going to move this percentage up or down here. So for me, I'm going to be at 25% or even 30%. So somewhere between 194 to 230 grams of protein per day. Carbs and fat, you can basically move wherever you want, okay? The big ones that I want you guys to concentrate on is gonna be hitting your protein and hitting your calorie goals. So for me personally, I'm gonna be putting my carbs pretty high at about 40% because I'm very active and I'm burning a lot of carbohydrates throughout the day. And then I'm gonna put my fats at 30%. And that's a very balanced macro plan right there. But I want to keep it simple today. So if there's only 2 things that you should be worrying about and you should be tracking, it's going to be your overall calories and hitting your protein number every day. We're going to save that. The reason being is that protein is what is responsible for building muscle and also preserving muscle. So if you're trying to cut body fat, but we're not getting in enough protein, as your body is burning those calories and as it's at a deficit, if we're not hitting the protein goal for your body weight, you're not just gonna be burning body fat, but you're also gonna be burning lean muscle mass. And this is one of the biggest problems I see when it comes to tracking nutrition or following a diet. People have no idea what their calories are at. They have no idea where their protein's at. And so they might be, losing weight, but they're losing muscle at the same time. Okay, so after we got your nutrients set in here, we got your ratio set, it is time to start tracking your nutrition. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna add in 1 meal for the day. I'm gonna show you 2 cool tricks so that you can check your nutrition throughout the day and make sure you're hitting your nutrients and your macro numbers. So for breakfast, I'm gonna add in my oatmeal that I had. So I'm just gonna type in Quaker oatmeal. Search this bad boy. There's a little check mark that if you hit the verification, it's going to show you everything that's been verified in here, and that has it's verified, so you know it is accurate. Okay, so the green check marks are good. If you can find those, that is the best. I'm gonna do awesome. We're gonna do 1 cup of Irish oatmeal, 27 grams of carbs, 2.5 grams of fat. I actually did have 1 cup today. So we're gonna just hit the little check mark up top, but you can also change up the amount of servings you're having. You can change up the serving size if you want to. We're gonna keep it at 1 cup, hit the check mark, log it. In that oatmeal, I had Muscle Feast protein powder, best protein powder ever, just to let you guys know. Hit up Muscle Feast. We had 2 scoops of vanilla right there. Macros are looking good. Don't need to adjust anything. We're gonna hit the check mark, save it, log it. We also had 1 cup of blueberries. So I'm gonna search for my frozen blueberries here. Bam, Kirkland Signature from Costco. 1 cup. This says 2/3 of a cup, but I had 1 full cup today. So we're gonna adjust the serving size, log it. And then we put in just a little bit of maple syrup. So we're gonna add maple syrup, 1 tablespoon, log it, and that is breakfast. So that's how you're gonna log your food. One last thing, if you go to add food, there's a barcode scanner here. So you can hit scan barcode. You're gonna be able to scan any barcode of any package that you have, and it makes it super quick, super easy. Very last thing, you're gonna scroll down to the very bottom of your day. At the bottom, you have a nutrition tab. If you click the nutrition tab, this nutrients tab is gonna show you where your protein intake currently is at, where your goal is, and how much protein you have left for the day. It's also gonna show you where your carbohydrates are currently at, what your goal is, what you have left. And then lastly, it's gonna show you where your fat is, what your goal is, and how much you have left. So you can check this tab throughout the day, see how you're doing on your macronutrients, and make adjustments as you go throughout your day so that you can hit your numbers to a T, shred fat, bulk up, and get the body composition that you want and deserve. And eat whatever you want to do it, which is pretty damn cool. So that is macros right there. That is an introduction to tracking your nutrition, being able to have a flexible diet and never having to follow a meal plan, follow a diet, starve yourself, skip meals ever again for the rest of your life. So go crush it. All right, thank you for watching the foundations to macronutrition. I hope you learned something. I hope it opened your eyes to how you can have flexibility with your diets and make it sustainable for the rest of your life. So if you want to learn more about macronutrition, click the little link in the description box. It's going to say the Food Freedom Project. Join here. It's a 6-week interactive challenge with me, with some of our trainers, where we go through, help you with your macronutrition, dive a lot deeper into very specific nutrition topics, and help you absolutely slay your nutrition and your fitness goals. So see you on the next video. Have an awesome day. Let's get this.